Hello dear viewers, welcome to another video tutorial of this YouTube channel. An individual requested for a question coming from the 2024 ECZ examination for General Certificate of Education Ordinary Level. So this exam was for the external candidates and the question was number 7, which falls under the topic of sequences and series. That was the requested question. So in this video tutorial we're going to answer that question. Let's try to check where the question is located in this paper. So let's try to check the location of the question which was requested. So it is question number 7 and it falls under sequences and series. So this is the question. We have found the question that we're interested in today's tutorial. So that is question number 7. So that is the question that we're interested in today's tutorial. It is question number 7. So question number 7 has two parts. It has part A and part B, and this question falls under the topic which is sequences and series. So we have part A. Part A in total it is carrying 5 marks, and then part B in total it is carrying 4 marks. So the question itself in total it is carrying 9 marks. So let's try to go through each and every part of this question. So we're starting with part A. Part A states that in an arithmetic progression, the sum of the first 12 terms is 282 and the sum of the first 14 terms is 357. Find the seventh term. So that is the first part of the question, and let's go to the second part. B states that the first, second and third terms of a geometric progression are y plus 5, y and y minus 4 respectively. Calculate them. We have the Roman numeral 1, it says that the value of y, and then Roman numeral 2, common ratio. So you need to calculate the value of y and the common ratio according to this part of the question. So before we get into the solving, I hope you haven't forgotten to subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you are updated with each and every video tutorial which is uploaded on this YouTube channel. So please don't forget to subscribe so that you are updated, and as you are subscribing, don't forget to turn on the notification button so that you're notified when each and every video tutorial is uploaded on this YouTube channel. And also don't forget to share so that others can also enjoy the tutorials of additional mathematics. And also don't forget to comment so that we can hear out your views. And last not the least, you can like this video by giving it a thumbs up. So let's quickly go into the solving. So we are starting with part A. Part A states that in an arithmetic progression, the sum of the first 12 terms is 282 and the sum of the first 14 terms is 357. Find the seventh term. So how are we going to find the seventh term? So first, let's try to look at the things that we're given. We're given that the sum of the first 12, so sum of the first 12 is equal to 282. So the sum of the first 12 is equal to 282, like that. And then what else are we given? So let's try to check that one. So the way we calculate sum in arithmetic progression, we have to say sum is equal to n over 2, open brackets, like that, and then we have 2a plus, open brackets, n minus 1, close brackets, d, which represents the common difference. So a in that one is representing the first term, and then d is representing the common difference. So d, it is common difference, and then a, it is the first term. So now let's try to check some of the things. So we are given that Sn So we're given that the sum is 282. So the sum is equal to 282. So there we're going to write 282, and that is equal to n. What is our n? Our n, it is 12. We're given that the sum of the first 12. So we're going to replace n with 12. So we're going to write something like 12 over 2. And then open brackets like that. And then we have 2a. Do we have the first term? We don't have the first term. So we're simply going to write a like that. And then plus, what about our n? Do we have the n? Yes, we have n. We are given that the first 12 terms. So in such a case, we're going to write 12 there, and then minus 1, and then we don't have the common difference, so we're simply going to write d like that. So let's try to do the simplification and calculations. It will be 282 is equal to, so there it will be 6, and then there it will be 12a plus, so 12 minus 1, it is 11, and 11 multiplied by d, it is 11d, like that. So we're going to say 282 is equal to, so 6, we're going to multiply 6 with those terms which are in the brackets. So when you multiply, it will give you 12a plus 11 multiplied by 6, it is 66d, like that. So that is the first equation that we have. We have achieved the first equation. We are going to denote that one as our equation 1. Let's go to the next thing that can help us to find the seventh term. Let's go to the second thing that can help us to find the seventh term. So now we are also given that the sum of the first 14 terms is 357. So what we're going to do is that we're going to do the same things just as we did on that part. We're going to say sum is equal to n over 2 open brackets to a plus open brackets, and then there we have n minus 1 close brackets, and then we are going to multiply that one by the common difference. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the same things just as we did with the first part. So it will be 14, since we are given that the n, the number of terms, it is 14. So we're going to write 14 over 2, and then there we're going to write 2a, and then there open brackets, so 2a plus open brackets 14 minus 1, and then close brackets. We don't have the a. The a, we said that it is representing the first term, and then the d, we said that it is representing the common difference. So we don't have the a and the d, so we're simply going to leave them like that. So the next thing that we're going to consider is that we're going to consider the simplification and the calculations. So we're going to write 357 is equal to 7. So 14 divided by 2, it is 7, and there we have 13 minus 1, it is 14 minus 1, it will give you 13, and 13 multiplied by d, it is 13d. So the next thing that we're going to do is that we're going to write 357. We're going to do the calculations and simplifications. So we're going to say 357 is equal to 14a plus 7 times 13, it is 991d, like that. That is equation number 2. That is equation 2. So we have achieved both equations. We have achieved equation 1 and equation 2. So what is the use of having these two equations? So the use of having these two equations is that we want to find the value of a, which is the first term, and the common difference, so that we can find the seventh term. So the way we are going to find the value of a and d is that we are going to solve these equations simultaneously. So what are we going to do now? We're going to get that first equation which we found, which is 282 is equal to 12a plus 66D, like that. And we're going to make A the subject. In this video tutorial, we are starting with A. We are going to make A the subject. It will be something like that. So we are using substitution method for us to calculate to find the value of A and D. So we are making A the subject. So there we're going to divide both sides of the equation by 12, and on the left hand side 12 is going to cancel out. So there, so we have achieved what A equals. A is equal to 282 minus 66D over 12. So now what are we going to do with that one? We're going to replace those terms for A on equation number 2. So we're going to replace what we have found on equation number 2. So we're going to say 357 is equal to 14. Again, where there is A, we're going to write those things. So we're going to write 282 minus 66D and over 12, like that. And then plus what we have 91, we have 91D. So what are we going to do? We're going to simplify things. We're going to do the simplification. So there we have 14. So what number can divide 14? So we're going to select 2 so that it can also divide 12. So we're going to say 14 divided by 2, it is 7, and 12 divided by 2, it will give you 6. Now what is the next thing that we're going to consider? We're going to multiply all the terms. We're going to multiply each term on each term of this equation by 6. So 357 times 6, it will give you 214 or 2142, like that. And then there, when you multiply 7 open brackets 282 minus 6D over 6, like that. So what we are going to do is that when you multiply that one, the 6 is going to cancel out. So no need of us doing the showing something. So when you multiply, the 6 is going to cancel out on that part, and then there we're going to say 91 multiplied by D, it will give you 456D, like that. So we're going to have something like that. We're going to do the simplification. It will be 2142 is equal to, so there it will be 1974 minus 462 D plus 546 D, like that. And then the next thing that we're going to do is that we're going to consider the like terms. We're going to consider the like terms. So 1974 is going to the left hand side, and it will attain a negative. It is going to have a negative. It will be a negative, like that. And then there, those are going to remain like that. So let's try to do the further calculations. So on the left hand side, when you calculate, it will give you 168, and on the right hand side, when you calculate, it will give you 84D, like that. So our main concern is to make D the subject. We want to make D the subject so that we can find the value of D. So we're going to divide both sides of the equation by D. By 84. We're going to divide both sides of the equation by 84, and it will be like that. So on the right hand side, 84 is cancelling, and therefore when you do the calculations, 168 divided by 84, it will give you the value of 2. So we have calculated the value of D. So D is equal to 2. What about A? What are we going to do? We're going to get that same equation that we formed. We said that A is equal to, that is the equation in case you're lost. So A is equal to 282 minus 66D over 12 like that. So where there is D, we're going to replace with positive 2. So we're going to simply say A is equal to 282 minus 66 open brackets 2 close brackets like that over 12. And the next thing, we're going to do the calculations, and when you do the calculations it will give you 154. The numerator is so when you do the calculations, the numerator is 150 and the denominator is 12. And when you do the calculations, 150 divided by 12, it will give you 12.5. So that is our A. Our A is equal to 12.5, and then our D is equal to 2. Now, what is the use of having these things? So the use of having the first term and the common difference is that it is going to be used in this formula. So you can find the term by using this formula. So you say Tn. So on the left hand side, the Tn represents the term. Like in such a case, we're given that find the seventh term. So Tn, it is the term, and A, it is the first term, and then N, it is the number of terms, and D, it is the common difference. So now, do we have the what? Do we have the A? Yes, we have the A. Do we have the D? Yes, we have the D. Do we have the N? Yes, we have the N. So now let's try to find the seventh term. So we are going to say T7. That is how we calculate any term in arithmetic progression. In arithmetic progression, we say Tn is equal to A plus open brackets N minus 1 close brackets, and then we have D there. So in such a case, we are interested in the seventh term. So we're going to say seventh term is equal to our A, it is 12.5. That is our A. And then plus, what is our N? Our N, it is the term that you are given. It can be any term as long as they have stated that it is this term. So in such a case, the question stated that it is the seventh term. Find the seventh term. So the N is representing the 7. It is going to be replaced with 7 and minus 1 like that. And then the common difference, we already found it as 2. So we're going to replace it with 2. So after you do the calculations, that is what you are going to be given. So seventh term is equal to 24.5. So even say therefore seventh term is equal to 24.5 like that. This is how you're supposed to score marks in an example. So now let's go to the next part of this question, which is part B. So part B states that the first, second, and third terms of the geometric progression are y and y plus 5, y and y minus 4 respectively. Calculate. So they want us to calculate the value of y. So what are we going to do? So we're simply going to say the first term. They have given us that the first term is y is equal to we're given y plus the first term, we're given that it is y plus 5, and then the second term we're given that it is y, and then the third term we're given that it is y minus 4 like that. So now what are we going to do? So if you want to find the GP common ratio, we say that it is T2 divided by T1, and that is also equal to T3 divided by T2. So in GP, common ratio can be found by using the formula, which is T2 divided by T1. So now, if the common ratio is going throughout in GP, it is equal. You can say T2 divided by T1 is equal to T3 divided by T2. So since the common ratio in GP is going to be the same. It will be the same since we are dealing with the GP. So that is how we find the common ratio is a T2 divided by T1. So what we're going to do is that we're going to follow the same concept. We're going to say T2 divided by T1 is equal to T3 divided by T2, like that. So we're going to be replacing. So what is our T2? Our T2, it is Y. What is our T1? Our T1, it is Y plus 5. Now, what is our T3? Our T3, it is Y minus 4. And then what is our T2? Our T2, it is Y, like that. So what we're going to do is that since the question itself states that find the value of Y, so we're going to cross multiply. So when you cross multiply, it will be like Y open brackets, Y close brackets, like that. And then there it will be Y plus Y minus 4, and there it will be Y plus 5, like that. And then there when you say Y times Y, it is Y squared, and then Y times Y again, it is Y squared, and then Y times positive 5, it is 5Y, and there negative 4 times Y is equal to 4Y, and negative 4 times 5, it is 20. So we're going to, so negative 4 times 5, it is negative 20. That is how it is. So that's what we're going to write. And then we're going to say that we can collect the like terms. So on the left hand side, we can bring in Y squared. So it will be Y squared minus Y squared is equal to 5Y minus 4Y minus 20, like that. And then we're going to say Y squared minus Y squared. So these are like terms, so we can easily subtract. So in such a case, it will be 0. And 5Y minus 5Y minus 4Y is equal to Y, and then the negative 20 is going to remain like that. And then our main objective is to make Y the subject, so it is going to be like that. So Y is equal to 20, you have to say therefore Y is equal to 20. So this is how you're supposed to score marks in an exam room. Let's go to the next part of the question, which is saying that the common ratio, calculate the common ratio. So just as we earlier said, we said that we calculate the common ratio by saying T2 divide by T1. So by T2 we mean the term which is following, and T1 we mean the previous term. So common ratio is equal to T2 divided by T1. So T2 it is the next term, and T1 it is the previous term. So T2 the next term, and the previous term it is T1. So in such a case, our T2 we're going to consider it as Y minus 4. And what about our T1? So our T1 we're going to consider it as Y. So the next term it is Y minus 4, and then the previous term it is Y. And then when you check carefully, we already calculated the value of Y as 20. So we are going to replace where there is 20, we are going to replace with where there is Y, we're going to replace with 20. So we're going to say 20 minus 4. And then again there where there is Y, we're going to replace with 20. So just as we earlier said, you can pick any which you want. So it will be like that. So it depends with the one that you're going to like. If you are liking T2 divided by T1, or if you are liking T3 divided by T2, as long as you have picked the correct terms. So after you do the calculations with the top part, it will give you the numerator as 16 and then the denominator is equal to 20. So when you do the calculations, 16 divided by 20, it will equal to 0.8. So you can say therefore common ratio, common ratio is equal to 0.8. So if you want, you can also represent this one into a fraction and it will be 4/5, like that. So this is how you're supposed to score marks in an exam room. I hope you're clear. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comment section. Thank you, and I hope you haven't forgotten to subscribe, to like, to share, and to comment. Thank you for watching. See you to another video tutorial.